But actually, chat. I am gonna sign off for tonight. But before I do that, um, there, as it says in the title of the stream, there are actually some news that is Final Fantasy related. Um, and I was saving it to the end just in case we didn't see anything Final Fantasy related in the Gamescom, which I was suspecting a little bit, but I was, of course, I wasn't sure. Yeah, it's not much, but there are two things that are Final Fantasy related. The first one is actually Final Fantasy 16 is the first one is Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 is actually coming on PC now, which is great. I have not seen this trailer, but I wanted to watch it. And Midgar, I know Final Fantasy 16 is not one of your most favorite Final Fantasies because of the side quests, but I was actually curious on when this is coming out to PC, and I wanted to talk about this on stream too. So the trailer first.
War is coming, my boy. You must make ready.
Years ago, I watched a dominant kill my brother right in front of me, and I did nothing. But now I can.
I'm here to even the odds. Any objections?
Come, little lamb, to the slaughter with you.
Nice. When's it coming out? September 17th. Holy shit, that's actually pretty close. Wow. Side quest and dry sexy. Yes, well, I mean, besides those, besides the side quests and the having way too much dialogue in the side quests, and the dry sexing, yes. Although I didn't mind that too much. But yeah, besides those, Final Fantasy 16 is such an amazing game. I mean, as you can see, they got a lot of 10 out of 10 ratings, or similar to that. I mean, it says they won over 50 awards nominations, which actually I didn't know that. But yeah, it is really a great game. So anybody got a PC, I'd suggest playing it. Oh, in the future. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have any more expansions. I mean, they already have two. To be honest, after this, I think they're done with it. But I could be wrong. They could be making a third one. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think they're starting to work on Final Fantasy 17 now, because that was one of the rumors from a reliable source. Well, they say that, but along with 9 remake and Tactics remaster and everything that included Final Fantasy 17. So I think they're done with 16. All right, so the second Final Fantasy news is that Midgar, you know Maximilian, dude. But for anybody that doesn't know who he is, he's a very popular streamer on Twitch. He's like one of the top streamers, actually. He found a video somewhere where they interviewed the devs for Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, and they talk about. They kind of go like they talk about like the behind the scenes kind of thing of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like, and they talking about like also the original Final Fantasy VII, and they actually also talk about they don't say much, but what their plans are for Final Fantasy VII Part 3. This video is an hour and a half long, but I'm not going to be watching. I'm not going to be watching all of it. We're just going to be watching like 10 minutes of it, because that's they don't talk about it for more than 10 minutes. Of course, when they're trying to keep things a secret, they don't, So yeah, when this video came out, actually, Midgar, I pretty much this video one came out like yesterday. So when this video came out, I was like, yeah, they're probably not going to show anything at Gamescom, since they already did this. And for some reason, I can't find this video on YouTube anywhere. So I don't know where he found it. He might have been watching on a different thing, different streaming service. I don't know. He might have been watching it live, probably, when they did it on Twitch or something. I don't know. There you go.
最終作について私も考えると非常にね、興奮と期待が入り混じった思いになります。
So when I think about the third and final game in the remake trilogy, it really does fill me with excitement, and I have such great expectations towards it as well.
Listening?
広がっていくと思いますので、ファンの方々には大きな期待をして待っていただきたいと思います。
So I really hope the fans that have great expectations towards this game, we will meet those expectations. We will definitely expand on and make the world of Final Fantasy VII even bigger than it is now.
So the question was, at one point after Rebirth, it was like, dude, how do you make this shit even bigger?
Yeah,
right?
that was one of my questions.
And it seemed like, oh, maybe we sort of hold back and make the third game a bit more focused and linear. Maybe a bit more focused and linear, kind of like part one. Maybe a more slightly expanded part one. A lot of us were questioning that. It was like, dude, how the hell are we going to have all of this? And then you add all of the other shit, right? And also all of Wutai. And then you also add the ocean, which you can go under. And then you also add fucking space. Like, what are we talking about here, dude? Even in the majority of open world games, they usually don't give you the whole ocean to go under.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's saying, like, how big is this fucking game gonna be if you got, like, because you can go anywhere with the high wind. Anywhere in the world. So, like, you got all the part 2, all the regions in part 2. And like you said, you got all the rest of the regions, however many they're gonna be. Then you got the fucking ocean. And then there's space. I don't know if you're gonna... the space thing might just be cutscenes. You might not get to explore that, but probably. But yeah, it's like... this is like, is this gonna be like a fucking 3-disc, 4-disc game and 500 gigabytes or something like that? Like, how big is this fucking game gonna be? Ever thought about it? I wonder if we'll get to explore space. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that, because space is just space. I don't think there'd actually be anything to explore. It's hard to imagine how big this game is going to be. You know, it was hard to imagine how big Rebirth was going to be when they were explaining it. And to be honest, they did, for me, they did so much more than I ever thought they would have. I was not expecting Rebirth to have fucking 6 regions of huge worlds in each region. And you could do all kinds of shit in every one of those regions. And it's all this variety and stuff. I mean, it's like... Oh. So I was just like, what the hell is part 3? Like, how long is this shit gonna take to make? I'm gonna pause too, but they've okay. In case you guys didn't hear that, but he said they've done all the groundwork. They've done all the story. They already know like how the story's gonna go and everything. I mean, they're just on top of things. So like that's that gets me excited to like oh man, this game is probably gonna come out sooner than later, in my opinion. I'd say I'm still sticking with my opinion, like what I said before, but I think this game is gonna come out at the latest 2027, maybe 2028. But yeah, we won't have to wait too long for this game, which is great, which is awesome. Because I was kind of worried about that, to be honest. I was worried that like, okay, so I was mostly not worried, but Remake took 5 years. And then Rebirth, with how big it is, took 3 years. So I was kind of going like in between, saying like Part 3 is going to be probably going to come out 2027, 2028. But yeah, like inside, I was still kind of worried that like it was not going to come out until like 2030 or something.
And just to confirm, the devs at one point over the past many months the game has been out, did talk about exploration. And I think that's a criticism of mine, is that the exploration, while it is enjoyable and fun, is very much a checklist style exploration. And that is kind of different from the spirit of the original FF7. They don't really want you to miss a lot of things. They want you to know that there was something there. Oh, I chose to miss it, right? Instead of truly being missable, right? Where it's just like, hey, I don't know what the fuck that is, or I never saw that on my playthrough. They mostly wanted you to see the majority of things on FF7 Rebirth, right? They wanted to give you a reason, an incentive to go look. So one of the lead gameplay guys, and I think it's the co-director of Rebirth, was saying that in the next game that they want to have actual secrets. They want to have more mysteries. They want there to be more reasons to explore for things than there was in Part 2. That was actually something that they were unable to do in Part 2 because they were still figuring out how the world fucking works. So that seems really exciting. That there's like, they want to give you more incentivization outside of just sort of checklisting to get to, or to find things in a map, you know? So it's like, oh shit. Well, shit, dude. Okay.
I wonder how much exploration we'll get to do underwater. I can't fucking wait. Oh yeah. Okay, just imagine. It's hard. It really is super hard to imagine, like, I mean, just in and of itself, it's hard to imagine the world being as big as it is. But when you add the underwater world to it, it's like, what? What the like? What? Is this game even possible? You know? And the fact that we get to fight I'm assuming we'll get to fight the weapons in the same location that we do in the original Final Fantasy VII, and like, how are we supposed to fight Emerald Weapon underwater? You know? Like, but you know, I mean, Max is not wrong about, you know, the side stuff being kind of like a checklist thing. He's not wrong. But not everything in Rebirth was like that. I should know. I 100%ed it. Because there were still some things that you could just miss. It's not the fact that they, like, all the side quests were obvious. There were actually a couple that were like, they were not like seeable to you until you found it. You know what I mean? So, like, for example, that treasure quest. Like my first playthrough, I didn't see that treasure quest at all, and it wasn't on the map or anything. So I didn't even know it existed. But on my second playthrough, I was like, "Huh, what's this?" And so once I actually found it, then it was like a checklist kind of thing. But you know, not everything started out like that. So, I mean, he's not wrong, but it's, but there were a couple things that were pretty secretive, actually, in Rebirth. And the fact that they're gonna make it like the original in Part 3 and put, like, maybe a ton of things, as a secret. Oh, man. I'll have to play through the game, like, 5 times just to find anything. You know, I can't, I'm very, very excited about that. I really am. Finding secrets in Final Fantasy games is actually one of the greatest things ever. It really is, because, I mean, I've played Final Fantasy VII, the original, at least 5 to 10 times. And especially when I started streaming, each one of my playthroughs, there's always something that I didn't know about, even that the chat told me. And so I was like, I thought I knew everything, but there's just so many secrets. Like, no matter how much you play it, it seems like there's always still something that you don't know, unless, you know, you're a knowledgeable king of Final Fantasy VII like Midgar is. But yeah, it's like I could bet you next time I play the original Final Fantasy VII, I probably still don't know something. It's unbelievable. Like. I wonder if we'll get to magnify the high window for auto port to destination. Yeah, I don't know, but you know, I can't imagine I can't imagine them doing auto port. I think that would take away that would kind of be like a disappointment for the game. You know what I mean? Like the Shinra Mansion was, at least in my opinion. I don't think they would do that, to be honest. I think they would let you actually fly manually on the Highwind. I mean, they let you do it pretty much on the tiny Bronco, even though you only move in the middle, in between continents. But yeah, I can't imagine that they would do that. If they actually do, then yeah, I would be disappointed. I think it was sleeping. I think of the possibilities. I try to keep off my mind. Oh, I'm sorry, Mikar. And you're welcome.
And to me, that just sounds like they're more comfortable, right? That just sounds like there's a big game, it's a big dev team, it's a lot of ideas, it's a lot of ways to explore. The exploration is really enjoyable and very fun in this game, but like it clearly can get better. It's something that can get better in the next game. And it was also clear that they realized that, oh, we just can't execute that in part 2, man. Like, we're just trying to get all this shit working, and it does. And we made an enjoyable game out of it, which is kind of cool. So they want the fact that you can make exploration more organic in the next one. That's a good term. Yeah. Organic is something that, oh, now we know this works. So let's add to it. Let's actually add more organic elements, you know?
The biggest thing that I'm very much looking forward to, like, I guess the number one thing actually, that I'm looking forward to in part 3 is the story. I am all about story in video games. And the fact that they've said that they already have the story made, I believe. So it's I can't fucking wait. I can't fucking wait. Sorry, that's how excited I am right now. But yeah, I hope we still get to hold the Shinra soldiers and the sub hostage. Oh yeah. I wonder if they'll give us an option to fight them or not, like they do in the original. And that leads to another question, like, what's the Shinra sub minigame in the original going to look like in the part 3? What the hell? What the hell is the whole underwater world going to look like? Like, oh, there's just this game. What's the sub going to look like? Yeah.
Feedback on the first 2 games in the series, and all of those learnings are going to be reflected in the third game. So it'll be exactly what the fans are looking for.
Oh wow! So in case you didn't hear what he said, but like they said that they've taken all the feedback from part 1 and part 2 from fans, and they're not inserting is not the right word, but they're maybe it is inserting it is into part 3, so that way they can make a game based on what the fans like, if that makes sense. Huh. See, the thing is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on what the comments are. That's a bad thing? Yeah. I'm leaning more towards that, to be honest. I mean, I think they should make the game to what they think is good. Like the devs, you know? As far as fans, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people have would have great ideas for Final Fantasy VII, but I hope they don't take every suggestion. Because some people can just say whatever they want, and yeah. Motherfuckers want to add modern day, and ain't no one wants that. And yes, I hope they're smart enough to know, I'm sure they are, but yeah, I hope they're smart enough to know, the good ideas from the bad ideas, if that makes sense. Or at least what they think is good ideas, and then maybe they could put those into the game, but yeah, it's a... Still, despite that, I'm very much looking forward to part 3.
Back to the stage of history.
I gotta be honest, I like them making a cool game, but I just don't want them to make a super boss behind a 10-round mission, and that failing causes you to start over. Is that the Sephiroth VR fight?
I agree so much.
That shit's insane, dude. What the fuck? Sephiroth VR fight, 10 levels of absolute insane fuckery, where you finally get to the insane bitch, and then you die immediately, and you gotta start all the way over? It's like, man. Wow. There's some wild shit. I haven't even done that yet. I did not even dip my toes into that stuff yet because I wasn't even done with hard mode.
Okay, chat. Max is not a true Final Fantasy person. He hasn't even completed the second playthrough of hard mode yet. That's what he just said. Max is not a true Final Fantasy person. Looks like it's a skill issue. But yeah, I agree so much that, like, with those 10 rounds and the super boss at the end, it's like, oh, I hope that that was some frustrating shit. That's for sure. Like, oh, God. I mean, y'all saw me playing it. Like, oh, jeez. Hard mode does not matter? Technically, yes, but... Max is not a true Final Fantasy fan, and I mean, anybody can just play through a game on easy, normal, or dynamic mode, but if you want to be a true Final Fantasy person, at least in my opinion, you gotta play through hard mode, you gotta get at, you don't have to get the Platinum Trophy, but you can get, somewhat close to it.
So we really are looking forward to a date in the future when we can reveal more about what the third game will be. But I really can't promise right now. It will be a game that perfectly reflects all of that passion that the fans have for Final Fantasy VII. So look forward to great things.
And for anybody that doesn't hear, yeah, he's saying like they're really excited about revealing more in the future, but they can't say anything right now, pretty much. So.
As we speak, and we're going to make the game something that even beats any expectations that you have towards the game.
Fuck.
Yeah, so he said the dev team is hard at work. Of course, they say that every time they come on a show, but he also said like they're gonna make a game that beats everybody's expectations pretty much, and that's like To be honest, I don't even know what my expectations are, for this game.
You. Come on. Come on, man. The ocean? Space? Afterlife? Before life? The upside? The downside? Like...
このディメンジョンの3部作はゲーム史上で最も愛され有名なタイトルになると私は確信しています。
I'm absolutely confident that the third game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake series will be one of the most loved, most popular games in the whole history of video games, once again.
Did y'all hear that? Wow. I mean, like, he said he's absolutely confident that Final Fantasy VII Part 3 is going to be the most loved video game of all time, just like the original was, pretty much, back in 1997. Alright, oh.
Night on journey through